Everything you ever dreamed of, we create and bring it to you. Experience hundreds of
Hello, this
sites,
is Ryan with Website Islands,
slideshows,
and
and
in this
video.
video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use your free Gmail email client with your domain name for domain-based email. Um, there's a lot of reasons why you might want to do this. For one, if you have a lot of emails, you get 15 free gigabytes to use with Gmail. You might already be using Gmail for a personal reason, like you have a personal account, and so you might just prefer to access all your email from one location. So rather than logging into your domain's webmail and then logging into Gmail for your personal, you can just get everything into the same client, and you can still send and receive separately. So if I can reply as Ryan, or I can reply as any one of my businesses where I connected their email. Whenever I get an email in, it comes from that domain, and I can reply as if I'm from that domain. So a lot of people might think that they have to pay for Gmail. I think they call it 365 service, or the Gmail suite, whatever it is called nowadays, where they're paying $5 per user per month, and that can get expensive if you have a lot of employees. Um, the only reason I would suggest using the G Suite, the whatever premium service they have for domain name, is if you have a lot of employees and you want to have the ability to immediately uh, lock them out of the email history, like every email that they've ever received uh, through your domain name on Gmail. Obviously they could have saved it and backed it up, but whatever's on there, you could just change the password and lock them out because you're in control of the G Suite and all the users underneath it. But if you're using my method, which is the free method, obviously any emails if your employees are doing this with, if you're setting this up for your employees on their personal Gmails, well, obviously it's their personal accounts. We're not going to be able to go in and lock them out of old emails that they received, right? So, if there's client-sensitive information that you want to be able to lock them out if you need to, then this is not the method for you. But if not, then this is a great way to save $5 per user per month, and it's, have it on their own personal email accounts. Okay, so another reason that they might want to do, like they don't like the webmail clients, and I'll show you that in a minute. So if you're in Cpanel, you'll get to a dashboard like this. Now, if you don't have Cpanel, if you're obviously this is for all my clients, but I know people that aren't my clients are going to watch this. So if you're on GoDaddy and you're using their control panel, you can still follow along. It's just the step-by-steps are going to be a little bit different. You'll have to figure it out. Um, Most people have a Cpanel, like HostGator and a lot of the other big platforms do use Cpanel. All right, so you'll go to your email accounts button here. It might look a little bit different depending on what version of Cpanel you have, but it looks like this. So I created one called Test at SEO Islands, and set up a password in my first version of this, which I deleted because I just kept talking too much. I'm trying to keep this as short as possible. So now we can, once you have a the email, you can go to, normally what you would do is you would use the free webmail, right? Webmail. You type in your domain name and then you type in, so it would be like SEO Islands. I don't know if you can see this because it's SEO Islands / webmail is what I'm doing. So in your case, it would be your domain name / webmail.com, right? I copied the password here that I created. Don't worry, I'm going to delete this after this test account after I'm done with this tutorial. So this is what you'll get when you first log in. You'll get 3 options: squirrel mail, round cute, or orb. I don't like any of them. Out of the three, I like Horde the most. Um, some people like RoundCube. Horde, I would say, is the most similar to Gmail webmail. I personally use Outlook on my own. I keep all my emails on my own computer, except for I mean, I have a Gmail account, but I don't really use it as much. You can so yeah, it looks like this. I mean, new message, um, you know, add the thing, and do. You might find Gmail's better for whatever reason. This isn't a comparison between the two. Um, Gmail, I think, has a lot more features than Horde. If most people use Gmail, so they're already comfortable with it, they know how to use it. They don't have to learn how to use a new platform. There's other reasons that you might want to use Gmail. Maybe you have a lot of emails, and Gmail gives you, I think, 15 gigabytes of free storage. And maybe another reason is having your email separate from your cPanel is sort of a good idea. Having a third-party email client where you just download your email and keep them there. If you ever wanted to move your site, it's a lot more difficult when you have to move your site and your email, especially like if you're moving from cPanel to GoDaddy. That's a really great example because there's no easy way to just back up the entire cPanel and upload it to GoDaddy. You have to now, if you're just backing up your website and moving it to GoDaddy, that's different because they have a. And if GoDaddy, I know GoDaddy does have some cPanel servers. So if you have like WordPress hosting by GoDaddy, I think it costs a little bit more than their standard hosting. Maybe they have a cPanel. But anyway, my point is just transferring emails is sometimes a lot more difficult if you want to ever move your site to another server. The other thing is if your site ever gets hacked. That could be more problematic if you have emails on the server. For example, if your site was hacked and you had a backup of your website, you could just delete the cPanel, start on a brand new clean. You really wouldn't have to worry about cleaning out the hack or where the hack is or anything. You just completely delete that and just make a brand new cPanel with a clean backup of your website that you know is untouched because maybe it was the original design. Or the very last edit that you know was clean. Anyway, so there's a lot of reasons to do this if you want to do it. I'm not saying you can't have webmail. I'm just telling you the pros and cons and reasons why people might want to do this. I still have a lot of people, they just, for a matter of convenience, and they're not using Gmail anyway, they just use the webmail and they're not too worried about it. All right, so let's get into it, how to do it. So you got your email. The next thing you're going to want to do is go to let's say connect devices, right? And you'll see this setup mail client. So now we can get all of these settings here that we need, right? Now, if we go back to Gmail, we can go to this little icon here and go to settings. And this isn't scripted or anything, so I'm sorry if it's not 100% smooth. It's definitely not going to be the cleanest tutorial that you've ever watched. Okay, so send mail as, so this is my Gmail account, website islands at gmail.com. I have another one here for an app that I work with, and so I want to create a new one. All right, so add another email address. So just important note here, we have send mail as. This is going to allow me to send mail as test at SEO Islands, which is the one I'm adding, right? But then there's also another one here. Maybe it's check mail from other accounts. I'm not sure if that's it or not. Import mail. Maybe it's import other webmail. Yeah, but it's going to be this one, and I haven't added an import for that yet. All right, so this is one of the things that Google, I think, recently changed, and why my old tutorial doesn't work. This used to be both; they were together, like the import and the send was just one wizard. And I think because there's just a lot more things that can go wrong with both of these two settings separately together than if you separate them. It makes it a little bit more easy to identify where you might be going wrong. So I sort of like it. It's just I remember the first time I tried to figure this out. I couldn't figure out why I couldn't get this to work, and that was because they had added this and changed the original setup. So when I tried to do it again, it took me hours. I didn't read this, so I didn't notice it. I was going in circles there for a while. All right, so send mail as. Let's reply from yeah. So we want to make sure this is ticked. Reply from the same address it was sent to, and add another email address. All right. So name, you don't have to change that. The email address you're going to put in my case, test at scoislands.com. All right. Treat as an alias. Yes. Okay. So it's telling us automatically that our SMTP server is SEOislands.com. This is where a lot of people go wrong. Don't just take Google's word for it. Go ahead and they're trying to guess it for you because that may often be the case. But here we can see the outgoing server, which is the SMTP. This is the SMTP server, right? It's mail at SEOislands.com. So that's going to be mail.yourdomainname.com or .net or .whatever, whatever it is. So let's go back to that pop-up and put that in. So the username, again, they're suggesting test, but that is not the case. At least not with my server. We're not using just the first part. We're doing the whole test at SEOislands.com, right? And then the password, it's going to be the password that you created when you created that email account, okay? And put that in there. And then now the port. So we have SSL and TLS, and then non-SSL saying not recommended, this is recommended. Google's recommending this. So let's try it. If this doesn't work, then I will try the non-SSL. I don't particularly need SSL on my email. So outgoing is 465, right? So let's find that. Here, 465. All right. This is secured using SSL. Let's try that now. So we're going to add the account. We're going to click add the account. We got the secured using SSL connected. We've got the 465 for the SSL. You could always try this if that doesn't work, but I believe either one of them should work. Let's do add account. Save this. Okay, so now they're sending test at SEOislands.com a verification email. So we need to click on the link or enter the confirmation code. So I'm still logged in to the webmail. I opened that up in a separate server. This might take a minute, might not. Let's just refresh this. This was just the original configuration email that I got. That's not the Google one. I wouldn't worry too much right away. I can even pause this video if it takes a minute. But if you keep asking them to resend the email, well, by the time you get the first one and the second one's on the way, you might think that's the new one, it's the old one, and then this code doesn't work possibly. So I would just be patient and wait for give it a good minute, maybe 3 minutes even, and then if that doesn't work, go ahead and either I wouldn't even bother with the resend. I would just go back and change my settings. So, okay, so there it is. Everything worked. And I'm just going to take this code, copy it. So I don't close these windows when I'm working on them. If you close them, you can probably get back into it by clicking the verification link here, but I just like to keep that open, and that way I can just follow through, right? Alright, so let's go back to my settings. Now I can see that mail is sent through SEO Island. So now I can send email, right? I'm sending it through my server using SSL. And so I could go to here and compose an email as tested SEO Islands and send that to myself, and I'll receive it. And as long as so we'll do, but we're going to do those tests. Let's do all of our testing at the end, just so we can make sure everything looks good. But for now, let's do this other one: import mail and contact. But what about receiving? So we're going to do this one: import mail and contacts. All right. What account do you want to import from? Test at scoislands.com. Okay. Continue. All right. Enter the password. Make sure I have that copied. Okay. Enter the password here. So now it's asking us the pop-up username and the pop-up server. Let's double check those for the POP user. So I know that the username isn't going to be test. It's going to be test at SEOislands.com. It's going to be your full email address, at least on my server. And we need to check this port 110 and mail at SEOislands.com. So we'll go back to the mail.seoislands.com and port. See, they're using non-SSL, so I guess we'll keep non-SSL on the receiving, but when we send it's SSL. Okay. So port 110. You could try this too if you want to. You could try port 995 for the POP3, but I'm going to use port 110, and I'm happy with that. And then mail at SEOislands.com. All right. You could, like I said though, if you wanted to stay with SSL for receiving as well, you can do that. You can do like that. All right. So here you'll. So that's all looking good. Checking. So yes, we wanted to import mail. Make sure that's checked. Leave a copy on the server. You could, if you're the type of person that just deletes your emails like crazy, but then sometimes you were upset you deleted it and it's not going to be in the Google trash. I guess you could do that. I don't do that because I don't want to clutter up the server. I don't want to archive incoming messages that skip the inbox. I do have a label to all important mail test at SEO Islands. Okay, that's fine. Start import. It may take several hours. In this case, it won't. You can close this window and keep using it. Gmail, that's fine. So it won't take hours because I only have one email in there. All right, so now we're going to go back to our inbox. And this is actually the email that was in my Cpanel account. This is actually the confirmation that they had sent to the other account. I got it in here too now, so just ignore that because that was the confirmation that they originally sent to you. And so we're pretty much done, but just to test it and make sure that we're receiving the email the way we want to, let's compose an email. Let's send it from, instead of my Gmail, I'm sending an email, right? So I'm going to test it SEO Islands, and the subject is, I'll send it to website. I'll send it to myself as well on another email, and we'll just call it test 1, right? And this is a test How does it look? All right. Thanks for that, Google. All right, we'll send it. Okay. So, got some junk mail here. All right, let's. Okay, I'm also getting the. Oh no, I'm not getting tested. All right, so yeah, so it says Ryan Bender test, and the way we did it, it doesn't say like uh, they're used to, if you do this wrong, there might be this email is sent from test. I mean, website islands at Gmail on behalf of Gmail or something like that. This looks authentic, like it came from tested SEO Islands, right? So the only way to see that it's coming from Gmail is if you actually go into it and look at the headers. But this just looked professional, and it doesn't say on behalf of Gmail or by sent from Gmail or anything like that. If you do it the right way, so now we can reply to this. Great. Okay. Website Islands. I don't know why it's defaulting to website islands at Gmail, but from sales at website islands, because I sent it to sales at website islands to that might have happened just because I'm in Outlook and I have that email already set up through Outlook. All right, so sales at website islands to test Ryan Bender tested SEO islands, right, and let's just read. I probably didn't have to do that. So we're just waiting for that email to come through. Test one. Let me make sure it was sent. I'm not sure why I got it twice. Maybe I was on some sort of loop here because I know I got it twice because I get all the email from here anyway, right? I'm already getting the email, so it's sending me that copy and then it's sending me another copy because I actually sent it to myself. All right. Unfortunately, I'm not receiving it. Oh wait, there we go. Finally. Um, your mileage may vary. Gmail only looks, and I'll tell you why that happens to save you some frustration. I've already investigated. Gmail only looks every so many minutes, right? So, but let's just look at this first, and I'll explain that next. Ryan, this is a test. How does it look like? This is a then sales website to Ryan looks great, and so now that I'm no longer composing this, I've actually received an email from someone myself, right? But now you can see if I were to reply to sales at website islands rather than compose my own new message. Where's where's the reply button? I'm sorry, I don't even use Gmail. Where is it? I feel dumb. I just know. Oh, here we go. It's like I really don't use Gmail. All right, so if I'm going to reply, but I know you can trust me, I'm an expert. I don't use it, but I know. Ryan at website. So I'm replying to myself now. So okay, that's all. All right, so sending that out. But get out of here. Spell check. What's going on? All right, so to Ryan Bender, sales at Website Islands. That's me. All right. So it's sending back to me, right? I, and it's sending. I didn't have to select who I'm sending as. It's automatically going to reply. Not at it's not going to use my Gmail, Website Islands at Gmail. It's going to reply as test at SEO Islands, right? So when I get that new email, it's going to be test at SEO Islands, right? I didn't have to select it that time because when you're replying, it's automatically going to reply as to whoever it was sent to, right? If it was sent to Test at SEO Islands, it would reply as Test SEO Islands, and if it was sent to, if it was sent to Website Islands at gmail.com, it would reply as that. It's going to reply automatically. You could probably change that if you really wanted to. But there's usually no reason to do that. Okay, so the other thing I was going to explain was you're worried about, hey, it's taking 3 whole minutes for me to get the email, and that's longer than I'm used to. The reason is because, so there's a con for you if that's a problem. The reason for that is because Gmail only, so you see where it says, let's go back to accounts and import where we were. So you'll notice a little, even Gmail tells us back here somewhere. Let me see where. Last check 0 minutes ago. View history, check mail now, right? So I believe this is why. So you could check mail now it's checking, right? So you can always force a check. If you're waiting on an email, you don't have to sit there and wait 3 minutes. I could have did that, right? Instead, I was worried, like, is this going to work or not work? So that's probably the reason why, if it's taking more than 3 minutes. There's obviously the time it takes the email to get to the original server, and then from that server to send it to Gmail, but that shouldn't be very long. All right, that about does it. If you have any other questions, I don't know what to tell you. This is free, and I have limited support for that. Maybe post a question in the comment box, and I'll try to get to it. I can't promise. I'll try. If you comment there. All right, if you're one of my clients, obviously just email me, and I'll get back to you. All right, thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Everything you ever dreamed of, we create and bring it to you. Experience hundreds of sites, slideshows and videos. Something special, something new. We can do it all for you. Order now, don't be afraid. Tell us what you want and we'll get it made. In a hurry, fast turnaround.